Welcome into the morning meeting. That's right. It's another special edition episode. Welcome to the first week of the month. That means what? It's a Courtney episode.
I love that intro.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, we're diving into everything business with Jomboy Media COO Courtney Hirsch. There's a lot of interesting topics today. We go into the All-Star game. Courtney just got back from VidCon in LA, right?
Yep, LA.
Cool.
Anaheim, LA.
Anaheim, same thing, kind of.
Kinda. People are going to hate us for that.
Angels fans strongly
Yes.
disagree that that's the same thing. We did the Bally's deal, which has now been announced and is really cool to see, especially on the TV guides where it says warehouse games. That's awesome. And a whole bunch of other business insights coming your way. Courtney, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited.
Let me take over morning meeting. We're probably going to do this once per month. I think it's a win-win. I get to come on here and talk about business, and I have been, a listener of the show, and then I get in the comments from time to time, and I'm just so excited that people are interested to learn the business side of things. So I'm really happy to be here. I think it helps Jimmy out, and then I also get this relationship with the community.
Yeah, your comments are always my favorite because there are like questions that are like easy to type out answers,
Yes.
and then it's one reply, Courtney.
Yeah.
Good.
Because I want people to know. I want
Yeah.
to give them the answers. They
That's
deserve
right.
it.
Really quick before we dive in, I think, now that we're definitely in this routine of you being here once a month, which is so cool, is this like 5 months ago, if I told you that would be the case, would you believe me then? Because I feel like you had I'm not on camera policy, but now.
That's true. I would have been really nervous 5 months ago.
Okay.
And I think Kiana, slacked me yesterday and was like, do you want to do morning this week? And I would have been like, wait, I need like a month to mentally prepare for that. But now I could do it on a day's notice. So
That's awesome.
Growth.
Great. So next month we'll message you on like an hour notice.
Oh, God.
And see.
No, I'm not there yet.
Really cool. Coming up, we're going to Dallas for the All-Star game. That's like July 14th through the 17th. You will be in attendance.
Yes.
I know that the All-Star trip is one of your favorites of the year, if not your solo favorite.
It is probably my favorite event for the year.
Okay.
I think for two reasons. Like, one, it's a really great team bonding event. We have a big group going, and it's a time where I think creators, ops, sales, business people, they all come together to make something happen, and we all are working and living really in tight quarters. So that's really fun. And the community event, like that was really probably the highlight of my year last year, is interacting with those people that have showed up from around the country and around the world to come and hang out with us.
Yeah, I know that we're almost sold out of the VIP tickets already. So we will leave a link to purchase tickets in the description of this episode in case you have not purchased already. And you said it. The community event, seeing everybody come together. I remember when we were in LA 2 years ago, that's when like people are pulling out their Jomboy Media jerseys and baseballs and everybody's signing them. Right? I know Kyle signed something crazy last year.
Last year, what was it? It was like the
an
bleach,
OxyClean.
the OxyClean container that we were all signing. So that was fun.
Yeah, super fun. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. It's going to be an awesome time. There's a few new types of concepts that will be rolling out during that party. So if you have been in the past, looking forward to getting your take on what this year will entail. Speaking of trips, we had mentioned you went to VidCon, and I am very excited to hear all about that.
Yeah.
Who did you meet? You were bumping elbows with the biggest of YouTubers, or what?
Yeah. Yes, I texted Matty that I met Reed, who's the president of Night Media, Mr. Beast's first really talent agency or management company, and I knew Matty would appreciate it. So you were my first text, Matty.
I'll take full ownership of that. You sent it to me and you were like, I saw the text writing on my lock screen and said, I think you're the only person that would know who this is. And then I was thinking, oh God, like, please let me know who it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't want to let me down.
No.
But I met a lot of different people. I met a lot of business operators that are doing the same role I am at different companies, running and scaling creator-led media businesses. So Zach Miller, we knew before, but we connected there. He runs Bucket Squad, which is Jesser. He's a big YouTuber. I met the president of Mythical. And it's just cool to make connections with someone that's like living and breathing your everyday.
For sure. You posted on LinkedIn that you went in with a few goals. You've alluded to, getting to know 3 new contacts. You also, one of your goals was 3 new business learnings.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like were the main takeaways for you? Having spoken to all these people, what did you learn?
Yeah, it's a great question. So VidCon was an awesome experience for me. It's very overwhelming to go for the first time, and then you read about the conference when you get there, and you learn that there's 55,000 attendees, and
insane. I would never have guessed that.
Right, and it's like so overwhelming. So I just made a little game with myself. I do this with myself a lot because if I feel like too overwhelmed or just not, I need like small goals. So I was like, no, just get out of your hotel room, meet 3 new people, learn 3 new things, and find 3 ways you could do this better next year. And like, that was my goal. And the business takeaways, I think it's interesting to stop here. The creator economy is really maturing. And I think that was the theme of a lot of these panels. These are not, single influencers making money off of like a couple of brand deals. Creators are building big businesses. And it's very exciting because there's a lot of influence and power that creators have. And this is one form of media that's like really working and taking off. And then I think looming in the back of everyone's head is, oh, wow, we saw media companies scale and that not work out so well, right? So you see that with BuzzFeed and Vice and Vox, and they've gotten to trouble scaling their businesses so large.
Right.
So how do creators scale businesses in a sustainable way? And there were 2 main takeaways for me, very much aligned with what we're doing. One is repeatable formats. And I think I and a lot of people at VidCon really believe that creators are the future of entertainment, the future of Hollywood, and these repeatable formats, they already exist online, right? And they can live and thrive in other places outside of the channel that they were originated on. And we see this a lot with, what we're building with Warehouse Games. It is a franchise. It's a repeatable format. There's storylines, and it's bigger than the creator themselves. And the goal with Warehouse Games is that Jimmy and Jake one day, they could step out of it and it doesn't matter because they're one of 20 personalities or creators. They could be behind the scenes. This is not going to happen anytime soon, but there's a vision where you're not reliant on the success of a single creator to keep it afloat. And then the other thing that's really interesting is diversifying revenue streams. And creators, today, I think the majority of them are relying on advertising revenue, whether that's through programmatic, through the platforms, or whether that's through doing direct brand deals. But making more sustainable businesses that are not at the whims of a bad economy or a downturn in ad spend, we're really starting to think about the whole industry is subscription revenue, merchandising revenue, product, Substacks, like all of these different ways that you can make money and that you have more control over the outcome.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I am glad that you qualified your statement when you said that's not happening anytime soon.
Yes.
Where people are going behind the scenes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No. I'm talking about like maybe when Jimmy's like 60, he doesn't want to be playing Blitzball.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like if you were to left that, then it's
no.
Is baggage out of Blitzball Battle 5? And that's like all the comments. Right. No, that's not the case.
I mean, more just like building brands. And we've done that in other places like JM Baseball and JM Trivia and Talking Baseball. That is a brand that is going to live on forever, and it's one day not going to be dependent on the creators that originated it.
Yeah, I think that's really a cool concept. And you're right. That is the goal for all of our properties, is to create a brand that can outlast anybody.
Yep.
I wanted to hop over because we have exciting news, and it is dealing exactly what you're talking about with Warehouse and it being repeatable. Bally's has gone live, and the first ever time that we were on TV is out as of the last episode of Morning that we recorded. So I was seeing like a lot of people tweeting like, oh, look, I'm like watching you on TV. That's crazy. The entire thing from your perspective, can you just walk me through where you first were a part of those conversations, how those conversations went in your eyes, and like how you guided through the process?
Yeah, sure. So these conversations with Bally's, I think, content acquisition team have been happening for a while, and no surprise that there's a bunch of internal changes happening over there. So I think that took longer than expected to get this deal done as they were figuring some stuff out. But from our perspective on, why we did this deal, and I really want to answer this for a lot of our community members, is nothing changes about the YouTube experience. And that was really important to us because that is our core community. That's who we depend on and who we are so grateful for to make this a success. And we didn't want to change that experience for them. So you could still, that's where all of the games will be released. Nothing is changing about the content or the creative or the format. You're still going to hear swearing in there. Yep. Sorry if you don't love that. I know there's a few people that want us to clean it up, but we just are going to be ourselves on YouTube still. So nothing is changing about that. And then why we did the deal, one, that was a big piece of it. Nothing's changing on YouTube. Two, just to be upfront, Bally's is paying us a licensing fee to license the content. And we invest a lot of dollars in the production of warehouse games to produce something that we are really proud of. That costs money. We need to fund that with sponsorship dollars and licensing dollars. So the more we make there, the more we can reinvest into the production. And then two, we're really excited about the partnership outside of just the financials because we don't have linear TV distribution. And by putting Bally's on linear TV, Sam, I needed this one. I was really sad.
I saw that you looked. I saw.
I was really sad I forgot it. So if we can get additional awareness through TV distribution and tap into a new demo, why not? Like, that's just a win-win for us. We have a new VP of sales. I'm going to announce him in a little bit. But one of his first lacks was my dad was watching the Mets game, and then after the game was over, Warehouse Games aired, and his dad watched a full Blitzball game, right? And his dad would have never searched YouTube and found Warehouse Games. Exactly. So, proof point of one person so far. But no, there are many, and we're excited about the additional exposure.
Yeah, the Published Press put it in when we were featured in their newsletter last week. They had put a link saying that the most preferred viewing method for sports is in the U.S. as of last year is still traditional TV broadcast. 57% of Americans prefer to watch sports that way rather than streaming it. So, yeah, I saw some comments like, "What's the difference?" And it's like, no, there is a not only is it a substantial, it's a majority of people that we're not tapping into.
Yes, and especially for live sports. And I think that's just a really good point and something interesting in the space. Live sports are hotter than ever right now. Mm-hmm. There's so much more competition for companies that want live sports rights because it used to just be the traditional TV networks that were competing against each other. And now you have Amazon, Apple, Roku, all the tech companies. And it's really cool to see Warehouse Games in the category of live sports. They're not like, the category of a TV series or a YouTube show, like a scripted TV series. It's like, no, this is replacing sports rights, baseball, football, hockey, right? We're making our own league. So that's cool.
Yeah. If we weren't filling that spot, then there would just be a different sport playing at that time. You're exactly right. You had answered a number of the questions that people had left about Bally's on our last episode, and thank you for leaving all of those comments. If you have any questions that you want us to answer for next week, make sure to head down to the comment section now and leave anything that's on the top of your mind about Jomboy Media. While you're down there, please press that like and subscribe button. But yeah, like you said, nothing changes on YouTube. That was one of the main questions, and like you said, a part of that is, yes, there will still be swearing on YouTube, and we have a team internally that is able to do that censoring so that we can get it.
Yeah, they've been crushing it and like editing, bleeping out all the curse words, and then editing the games to hard linear formats, which is a pretty big lift because we didn't have to worry about commercial breaks or making it exactly 44 minutes on YouTube. So we're doing all that internally and transferring it for linear TV.
Yeah, and just going to our leadership meeting from yesterday, I know that one of the pride points that you had brought up is that while you were at VidCon, I believe, there was a lot of people that came and offered you that service. It's like, no, we can do that ourselves.
I love that. I love saying that. Like, no, we got that.
Exactly. There was one other question before we move on from Bally's that I just wanted to get your take on from Not Bestseller 8817. They said the Bally deal is obviously great for Jomboy Media, but it's also great for Blitzball, the company. Were they involved at all in the conversations, or have you had any conversations since?
They weren't involved in these conversations, but Aaron from Blitzball is very supportive. We have a partnership with them, and we have a very good relationship. And I think this is just a win-win from all sides. So, no, not part of those conversations, but I think he's pretty pumped about the additional exposure.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Speaking of exposure, you had done an interview, which I didn't even realize at first. I saw it on your LinkedIn. I was excited to read through all of your answers. I always think that it's funny when an interview is like, they just write it out question and then answer just everything that is said.
I know. I was like, wow, I didn't know you were going to write this all.
But it was with SponCon Sports. You had done an interview, and a few bullets that I had pulled out of that interview that you had said, which I didn't even realize are stats. 90% of our advertisers were new, and 50% of our community members purchase from one of our advertisers. And those numbers, reading those, were like, wow, I'm in here, and I don't really even realize that.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's
awesome.
awesome.
We should share that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really proud of that. 90% of our advertising partners renew and want to do a campaign with us again. And I think this is because we try so hard to find brands that really allow us to be ourselves. And that's a big conversation when we're talking to brands because one, we don't want to change the content for our community. And two, if you don't allow us to have fun and be ourselves, it's not going to work as well for you. Yep. So I think because we are pretty strict about that, that leads to the really strong renewal rate.
Right.
And then I love this stat. 50% of our community have actually purchased something from one of our brand partners. And that just shows the power of our community and the tight-knit relationships that we've built with them. And also that these are real people, right? And a lot of media companies and ad tech companies, they're selling views and impressions, and they're not selling or have a real community that like is actually like, I could show you the physical people that show up to our events and that buy stuff from our merch store. So just, it's really special for me. And I think really special for our partners as well.
It definitely feels that way. And we talked about it last episode when Jimmy was here, of just all of the comments being excited for us that T-Mobile is a partner. I know that that's something that's very exciting for you as well. And that, I feel like I've seen that now. The T-Mobile ones are really cool. That's obviously a brand name that everybody recognizes. But after that got brought to my attention, I feel like I'm just seeing it across the board for any of our advertisers, especially because we have a lot of new ones coming in. So it's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I know that brand or whatever. And those comments, on top of having a lot of people purchase from these advertisers, it is also just like, once an advertiser comes into the walls of Jomboy Media, they become a part of the lexicon, and it like becomes a part of the community. Yes.
I was jealous of the sales team, thinking about when I was in sales working for different companies. How cool is it to be selling advertising where the community is like, oh my God, that's so amazing. I just got an ad. Like, I love the ad. It was better than the content itself. Like that, they have it pretty good in that sense.
Yeah, no, they understand. And I think that, you talked about it in our leadership meeting yesterday, but we're also just being able to teach everybody out there about this new landscape, and it's becoming more and more so the norm.
Yeah.
And I think that means in the future, it's only going to open up these opportunities even more, where we're already in a great position to excel.
Agreed.
Speaking of advertisers, I want to jump down a little bit because we have a lot of new advertisers coming in, and specifically a lot of them are for football. So I wanted to pick your brain. What has the thought process been? We're more or less a little new into football, right? It's not the bread and butter of Jomboy Media. It's something in an area that we're growing. But there's been an influx of advertising into football for this upcoming season. Can you speak to the sales strategy when pitching something that might not be what like we're getting the most eyeballs on?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. We're really excited about football. I think advertisers, there's a lot of opportunity in football, and a lot of brands want to align themselves with the NFL because of how just large the audience is in the US. I think what our strategy is pitching how Jomboy Media approaches football, and we've built a whole company around baseball and speaking to it in our own way. And baseball, you know, to a lot wasn't cool. We don't think that, but maybe advertisers think that, that it's not like the hottest sport. So just imagine bringing that same energy and tone of voice and uniqueness to a sport that already has the popularity and already has the buy-in from advertisers. And I think that's why our sales team and our brand partners are really excited about it. And then we're also, we're pretty brand safe. And this is a big thing when talking to advertisers, and a big thing just for the creator space in general. I don't know if I've talked about this a little bit here, but advertisers were used to controlling the creative, and they made a commercial and then they handed it over to a media company and they said, run my commercial.
Right.
And they spent weeks and months and maybe millions or thousands of dollars fine tuning the exact messaging in that commercial, handed over to a media company for distribution. Now they're looking to creators and they have to hand their messaging over to the creators. And they're like, eek, like, what are you going to say? Oh no. Like, and you have to build trust, right? So the fact that they trust us and we're going to do it in our own way, I think this is a really powerful opportunity for us.
No, I think that you hit the nail on the head. But the fact that companies do trust us just opens so many of those doors even more so.
Yep.
Do you want to shed light on some of the companies that will be joining in the upcoming months?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's cool.
So Corona, the official cerveza of Jomboy Media. I don't know what the true thing is, talking baseball, but Corona is fully on board. They are sponsoring a lot of baseball content. You'll see them integrated into our All-Star trip. They are also going to be doing a lot of football stuff with us, Football Today, Talking Giants tailgate. So I cannot wait to go down the shore this weekend for 4th of July and drink a Corona.
Your whole fridge.
Yes, the whole fridge. And then another one we're really excited about, Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan is mostly coming with us on football content.
Yeah.
So they're going to kick off later in the summer. We're doing a creator-led fantasy football league for them. They're showing up to Talking Giants tailgates. If you're there with Justin and Bobby this summer, like have a drink on us and come experience the tailgate. But yeah, I'm excited because these deals are new. They're brands that like we've already been, such fans of, and they're going to let us be us and do our thing.
Yeah. And knock on wood, there are a few more of these coming down the pipeline of these recognizable names, which is really fun and something that especially this audience will really enjoy when we do announce those, assuming everything goes well, which I know that it will. There are 3 more topics that I wanted to hit with you. And one of these is really interesting, just business world-wise, because you don't see it that often. I've never seen it before. And I think it's really interesting how you were able to hire, and not only hire, but hire an executive position just through posting a video on your own LinkedIn. Can you talk to me about your thought process going into that rather than going the more traditional route?
Yeah. So I created, as Matty said, I created like a selfie video and was sharing how we are looking for a new VP of sales. And I think my thought process going in, or just in general lately, is I need to go for it.
Hell yeah.
I need to go all in and make it happen,
Yeah.
right? No one is coming to save us or going to find someone for me. Like, I am the person.
Yeah.
So let me just try things and put my like heart on the line and really go for it. So that's a thought process. And I was like, I haven't really seen many people do this, but what's the quickest way I can get the word out and add context and then have people learn what I'm like to work with and what this company is like to work with. So I made like a selfie video walking down the streets of New York explaining who we're looking for, like who I think is going to be the right fit for the role, what the job entails. I posted it on LinkedIn. And then this is like kind of the embarrassing part is that then I emailed like board members, investors, and the employees. And I was like, share my video, please. Like it would mean a lot to me if you share your video. So you kind of have to like ask and put yourself out there, which is awkward.
You're like an upstart creator. Like
Yes.
I think if there was a YouTuber that had, 20 subscribers, they'd be like, hey,
Right.
family,
Yes.
go.
I guess that's true. I guess a lot of people do this in the creator world, which takes balls.
Yeah.
And it really worked out in my favor. And just looking at the numbers, we also posted the job the traditional way on LinkedIn, but the selfie video got 25 applicants, 60% qualified for an interview, cost me $0 to do.
Right.
Posting the job on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a little bit of like pay to play. You have to promote your job. So we put $220 behind it. I got 88 applicants, but only like 10 or 11% qualified for an interview.
Right.
So just getting it through this video to like a tight knit community that's really invested, and then you don't have to weed through all of the applications.
No, I hear you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 60 to 10% is a drastic difference. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, weeding through applicants, we've put out job applications before and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
You know what? LinkedIn or all these companies, they've made it too easy to apply. And it's hard for candidates too, because now candidates have to apply to like 1,000 jobs to get looked at. But then companies have to weed through thousands of applications.
Right.
So like it should be a little bit harder. Like you could just press one button and like apply to like
Everything.
Yeah.
The system
I
is
don't know
just
if this
hard.
works anymore.
Exactly. And because you're applying to so much, that means everybody else is. It just makes it harder for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you were able to hire our new sales lead via that. And I believe, in the next coming days, they might see Anthony's face pop up.
Yes. We're going to announce Anthony and do a little bit video, but we're really excited.
Cool.
One of the things I loved about Anthony's application is he made a video back to me throughout the process.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to hit on before we do a larger kind of overview of Q2, Jomboy Media was able to do a service project and be able to give back to the community a little bit. There was a crew that went out to Harlem in order to, I think so. Yeah. Don't hold me to that. But I think it was Harlem in order to clean up a baseball field. You saw the picture come in and
I loved it.
So wholesome and everything.
We've been trying to do this for so long and it just gets kind of pushed, but I'm really glad we were able to prioritize this. We worked with Empire Baseball and they helped clean up baseball fields for little leagues or, kids that are playing baseball. I don't know what organizations, but they raked the field. Our team painted the benches. Like they did actually like hard physical labor, but everyone had a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do this like once a quarter and keep it going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I alluded to the Q2 recap, but before we do that, there's just two quick questions. And again, leave any questions you have below, but two quick questions before we wrap up with Q2. Merrick, a loyal listener of the morning meeting, asked, I really like the day in the life videos that Jimmy has done. Could we see any more Jomboy members' day in the life? And you have done these recently, right? So go over to Courtney's socials if you want to see her.
Yes, my LinkedIn or Instagram. I'll put links in the comments, but I'm trying to do 2 a month. That's my goal.
Cool.
Yeah.
I remember you asked me to film for that. Do you remember? And I was filming for so long.
Yes.
I was like, come on. It's a 1-second thing. But Shelfie has done these recently. Zoe has done them in the past, but it's a lot on socials. So if you're interested in that, check out for socials there. And then Greg had asked if we would consider 4-player teams for our franchise Blitzball tournaments. And I think that the logistics there, like as awesome as ball and play and floorball are, the logistics are just not only double, but even more difficult, because the teams of 2, those are like our creators and the people that we work with most often, having to field double the amount of people, and also all of them are guests that have less commitment to Jomboy Media. Those are the people that tend to back out last minute and stuff like that. I feel like we've found a good formula that works for Blitzball, and adding the logistics there would complicate that system a bit. And also, this might just be me, but like if it's Trevor Plouffe's team, like I don't want Trevor being third up to bat. Like let Trevor bat and see what he can do. All right, cool. Remember, leave any questions down below as we talk about Q2, because it came to a close and I don't think anybody noticed it. No. I know that you said it. I went home yesterday and I didn't have the combo with Emily that I was like, oh, Courtney said that she couldn't believe Q2 ended. Emily was just like, did you know that Q2 ended? And I was like, don't speak to me like business, please. What are you doing? But
I like Emily.
She was in the office very, very briefly yesterday.
I missed her.
We went to Hamilton, so she was here for like 5 minutes. This was my bad.
I'm like, holy shit, I'm leading this company. I didn't even know that Q2 ended. I didn't talk about Q3 goals, so we were a little bit behind, but I think that just shows how in the thick of it we are right now, executing some of these deals. So yeah, Q2, the first half is done. I think overall it was a really amazing quarter for us. Our socials have been on fire. We've had really big content wins. I mean, We Got Ice's channel has been blowing up.
Oh yeah.
Our revenue is up comparing it to the first half last year. And then we've just put some really cool strategic partnerships in place, like Dan Patrick, Bally's deal, our partnership with ICC and getting into cricket. So all of these things, it's like we're doing what we need to do and finding the small wins. And then we are planting the seeds with these more strategic relationships that have very long-term growth plans for us.
Yeah. And do you have certain things in mind Q3 wise that are like, ooh, I can't wait for that? What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about?
I had to hit you with an unexpected question. Just before we get out.
You know what? I'm excited about Fanatics Fest because I think that pulls from a lot of different areas of our company, and it's new. It's something we've never done before. A 2-hour live show with like 10 different Jomboy Media creators, interactive station, pop-up merch store. Like we've never really put it all together like that at that scale.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Anything that involves like the whole team coming together to make a win, like gives me chills.
I can't wait for the booth.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that, and like being able to represent all of us representing Jomboy Media and standing behind like a booth.
Yeah, cool. I know. I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. We look forward to keeping tabs on you on socials, and we'll be chatting again, I'm sure, in next month.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.